Today's Easter scripture reading comes from John 20, verses 11 through 18. But Mary stood weeping outside the tomb. As she wept, she bent over to look into the tomb, and she saw two angels in white sitting there where the body of Jesus had been lying, one at the head and the other at the feet. They said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" She said to them, "They have taken away my Lord. I do not know where they have laid him." When she said this, she turned around and saw Jesus standing there, but she did not know that it was Jesus. Jesus said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you looking for?" Supposing him to be the gardener, she said to him, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have laid him, and I will take him away." Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned and said to him in Hebrew, "Rabboni," which means teacher. Jesus said to her, "Do not touch me, because I have not yet ascended to the Father. But go to my brothers and say to them, I am ascending to the Father, and your Father, to my God and your God." Mary Magdalene went and announced to the disciples, "I have seen the Lord." And she told them that she had said these things to her. Please bless the reading and the hearing of the Holy Word.
Dan, thank you so much for sharing the Easter story with us this morning. Easter might be my favorite holiday. We celebrate new life and nature awakens from his deep winter slumber. The fragrance of Easter lily, colorful spring flowers, beautiful music, trumpet, familiar hymns, and of course, excited kids hunting for Easter eggs. Talking about Easter eggs. Did you know that the tradition of colored Easter egg is connected to the gospel? Now, before you look into the gospel looking for Easter eggs, let me tell you a little story about it. Easter eggs. The form reminds me a little bit about the big stone which was in front of the tomb, which was rolled away, in which Jesus laid. And then if you blow out real eggs and crush it, it's empty, just like the tomb was empty. And of course we have Easter, or any kind of eggs, as a symbol of new life. But besides that, Mary in today's story is related to the Easter egg. And I know you want to find out more about it. And so there's a picture going to be up there. Mary Magdalene, which is an icon painted by Robert Lentz. He is an American Franciscan friar from Maryland. And I just love this picture of Mary pointing to the egg. I will tell you more about this later. Before we get there, let us go back to our gospel story. All four gospels share the stories about the resurrection, all slightly different versions. Each gospel tells us that the resurrection happened, but none of us how. John's gospel is the only account in which Mary meets the risen Christ alone. And before our story, there's basically act number one. It is still early in the morning, dark. Mary Magdalene went to the tomb and saw that the stone had been rolled away. She was afraid somebody might have stolen the body, so she ran back to tell her friends, Simon Peter and the disciple Jesus loved, saying, I can hear her, out of breath. They have taken the Lord, and we do not know where they have put him. So she suspects it is really possible that the Roman soldiers might have taken them out of the tomb to get the evidence that he is not there anymore. So Peter and his friend want to see for themselves, racing to the tomb. Peter was second, he lost that race, but both men see that the linen in which Jesus was wrapped was outside the tomb, so Peter went inside. He is the first. In verse 9, if you have your own Bible, if you want to check, John 20, verse 9, it says, he went in, he saw, he believed. Then the disciples returned home. Thinking like, what? You just saw an empty tomb, went in, saw, believed, and going home. What an Easter story is that? What are you going at home? What are you going to do at home? What are you doing with the story? Just go home? And then there's Mary. She stays. She stays and is weeping loudly for everyone to hear, not just sniffling, but crying uncontrollable, tears streaming down her face. She feels all her emotion. She mourns the loss of a beloved friend and everything he represented. After the brutal death, it seems the Roman Empire's military forces prevail. Violence, oppression continue. She sees the empty tomb and can only think of one logical explanation. Jesus' body had been stolen. The soldiers are not satisfied that he is dead. Now the empire aims to destroy the evidence of his existence and take the body too. Have you ever wept? I know I have. Through my tears, everything looks blurry. I'm so overwhelmed. Feelings and tears just stream down my face. I do not understand what anybody is saying. I am not listening to what anybody else is saying. All I do is feel my feelings of sadness, emptiness, and just being alone. I can identify with Mary. Then she hears, "Woman, why are you crying?" Is this a trick question? Why do you think I'm here? And unfazed, yet with tears and likely a trembling voice, she says, "They have taken away my Lord, and I do not know where they have taken him." And the second time, "Woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you looking for?" Another trick question. She sees a person and assumes he's the gardener. Courageous Mary speaks up once more. "If you have carried him away, tell me where you have laid him, and I will take him away." Then she hears the voice, familiar, saying her name. Have you ever been in a crowded place or in a very lonely place and somebody calls your name? You turn around, you step forward. You may even try to embrace that person you haven't seen in a long, long time, and you just want to give the biggest hug there ever is. She addresses him by title, but Jesus tells her, "Do not hold on to me." Jesus appears when Mary is at her lowest, sad, discouraged, feeling empty. But Easter happens when you are full of questions and doubts, when you haven't figured it out yet. And resurrection happens after your life falls apart. A new life can only take place when everything else is dead. When you thought it was the end. Easter is about enduring the pain and still staying there, waiting for whatever is going to happen, surprises, and then when you least expect it, Jesus is there. Mary learns the hard way after she wants just to give this biggest hug there ever was. The most difficult part of love is letting go. Parents know that the first day of daycare, first day of preschool, first day of kindergarten, and then dropping off at college. The most difficult part of love is letting go. And then, of course, even more difficult when your loved one is breathing the last breath. The most difficult part of love is letting go. And I know many of you in this room had to do that. Let go. But that's not the end of the story, because our story continues. True love means letting go, let go, and let God. Jesus explained to Mary that he has to ascend to God. And now, what does Mary do now? Does she do the same as her friends did earlier on in the morning and just go home? No, she is changed. She is changed totally. And so she does what we all do, hopefully, sharing the story. If it wouldn't be because of Mary or somebody else like Mary, you wouldn't be here this morning. Because somebody told the story to you and then therefore made you open to experience the risen Christ. She goes to the disciples and proclaims, "I have seen the Lord." She tells them everything that happened. What happens next is not written in our gospel, but it's the logical consequence. Because of her, the story continues. And especially when you see our kids, it continues and continues and continues. The story of Easter is not a once and done deal. It keeps on going. Mary is the starting point that sets everything in motion. Because of her, we are the church. We continue to share our experiences with Jesus, how he calls our names and how he transforms our weeping into witness. Because of our personal experiences with the risen Christ, we believe that hope and new life are stronger than cruelty or death. We are Easter people. We have seen, we have heard the risen Christ and want to share that news with others. I am grateful to Mary. And if she was sitting right there, I would say, "Thank you, Mary. I can learn so much from you." 1, take risks. Go to the tomb and stay, even when the others abandon you. 2, love your loved ones. Despite of what others may think or do, love means showing up. Be there. Even when the hard gets hard and the tough gets tough. Love means mourning the death of your loved one. And love means showing all your feelings, including tears and weeping. 3, be brave. When in doubt, speak up. Don't be intimidated by what you think you don't know. Just like Mary when she was asked twice. She knew what she wanted. She wanted the body of her loved one. Be assertive. Tell them what you want and why you are there, even when you're alone with strangers. 4, trust your experience and tell others about them. Trust what happened. Tell them what you saw and what you heard. Only then the truth will come out. 5, Mary shared with others, "I have seen the Lord." She does what we are told to do by all the psychologists using I statement. Not he is risen indeed, but I have seen the Lord. I have heard him, I have experienced him. Claim that for yourself and don't just repeat what others are saying or hide behind what others declare. Be brave. Share your own experiences. Faith is not just passing tests of faith, but personal testimonies of Jesus' experiences. 6, one person can make a difference. Look at Mary. She was all by herself. She experienced the risen Christ and then shared her experience with others. She didn't care what others thought about her when she went back to the disciples. She did it anyhow. Till today, Mary encourages me, and I hope you as well, to do the same. We celebrate Easter because till today, Jesus calls us by name, just as we sang in the song in the garden. He encourages us to share the great news with others. That's why we are here. And we don't stay here, but we go out into the world and share that experiences with words and deeds with others. 7, be courageous. Because it takes a lot of courage to proclaim your experience with the risen Christ, especially when others don't believe you. Do it anyway. The world needs to hear that Christ is amongst us and that nothing and nobody can keep Christ in that stinky tomb. But new life is around us, everywhere we look. What about Mary and the Easter egg? Mary continued to be courageous. She just did not only go to the 2 or 3 who had left the tomb early on that morning, but according to legend, she was sharing the story of Christ even with those others are afraid of, and even with the people who could potentially harm or kill her. It is said that she gained an audience with the Roman Emperor Tiberius in Rome. On this painting over there, which is taken from the St. Mary Magdalene Church in Jerusalem, which is built near the Garden of Gethsemane, built in the late 19th century. This church is still in use by Russian Orthodox, still inhabited by people who live there and still open for worship. And who do you see? Mary Magdalene with an egg in front of the Imperial Tiberius in Rome. This painting is over the altar. Tiberius is sitting on his throne, looking down at the peasant woman. She carries a basket of eggs as a gift with her. She greets him with the same greetings as Christians all around the world till this day, and holding up an egg. Christ is risen. I have seen the Lord. The emperor scoffs and replies, he is no more risen than this egg in your hand is going to turn red. And guess what? The egg promptly turned red. May we all join Mary in being brave and courageous in this world, which is so filled with the news that we can only share because we have all experienced. And may we share the experiences whether of our eggs change color or not. I have seen the Lord. I have heard the Lord. And may Christ turn our weeping into witnessing. Happy Easter.